be clear what it is you are saying in your evidence. You mentioned Lieutenant Colonel Tipper as one of the people that Chief Mapie referred to as his angels. You have also, in your explanation, said at some point she was put in to be one of your protectors by him. But it is in a paragraph where you speak about her. It's in a paragraph where you say Chief Mapie had children with subordinates who were vulnerable to his abuse of power, including conduct amounting to sexual harassment, coercion, and rape. Just to be clear from your evidence, are you saying that Colonel Tipper is one of the people that you refer to as subordinates that have had children with the chief, that have been the victims of his abuse of power, coercion, sexual harassment, and rape? Are you saying that about her?
I have explained that if you are called an angel, it means you are playing along. If you are not an angel, obviously if you are not called an angel, you will not play along with chief and agree to be abused, sexually abused.
I think we have to go past innuendo. This is very damaging if it is not backed up by facts. I'm happy for you to say it's fact, what you are saying about her, and you will give us evidence that backs it up. We won't stop you doing that. But if you're relying on innuendo because she's called one of my angels, and you say, therefore, she must have had an improper relationship with him, that is not permissible. So I'm asking you a direct question. Do you say it as a fact that Colonel Tipper had an improper relationship with Chief Mapie, and in particular, and maybe let me put it as specific as what I think you're suggesting, she had a sexual relationship with Chief Mapie? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
And you have evidence of that you will include in your supplementary statement?
Evidence of them having an affair. Did you ask for evidence from Xolani? No. Ma'am, did you ask evidence from Neza when he said, I have extramural activities with Mkhwanazi?
I'm asking you the question. You don't ask me questions. I ask you questions.
So I have no comment.
May I please speak? You are a witness. You have to allow me to speak, and we will give you the chance to answer. You make very serious statement about Colonel Tipper. I'm not speaking about anybody else at this point. I'm speaking about Colonel Tipper. You make a very serious allegation about her. And what I'm asking of you is, if you know as a fact, can we have it in your statement if it is a fact? Because Colonel Tipper will have to deal with this.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Colonel Tipper herself also, she said, I have a close relationship with Mkhwanazi. And I never, in the statement, you asking, or the commission asking them, that do you have evidence that I have a close relationship with Mkhwanazi?
Okay.
So it's the same answer, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for that answer.
Chair, before we stand down for tea, may I just ask one question to the witness? Dr. Mashazi, I understand, particularly with reference to your last answer, that it was suggested by one of the witnesses that you had a close relationship with Mr. Mkhwanazi. Do you equate that to a claim by you that a female member, subordinate, had a sexual relationship with their senior at work? Do you place those on par, those two claims?
I cannot comment on that.
No, you are the one making the statement, so I want to know whether are they
but
the same?
I don't want to comment on that, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay.
For the record, Doctor, it was actually Commissioner Baloyi
Commissioner Baloyi.
who engaged Mr. Nziza on the nature of the relationship. So I'm just saying, for the record, it should become clear that the statement did not just pass without engagement. Commissioner Baloyi engaged Mr. Nziza to get an idea of what exactly the proximity, I think that's the word Mr. Nziza used, what exactly he meant by proximity. So Mr. Nziza was engaged on that issue, for the record. And also, a video was played in which Brigadier Mkhwanazi went so far as to say that he would die for you, he would take a bullet for you. So some evidence was led with regard to the nature of the quote-unquote proximity or the quote-unquote relationship. Not suggesting a sexual relationship, improper relationship, or anything. So some objective evidence was led as to what, in the end, we will make of it. We will decide at the appropriate stage. So I'm just putting that on the record to make sure that you do not leave this commission saying that, as you were suggesting to Commissioner Baloyi, that there was no engagement at all with regard to the relationship that Mr. Nziza was suggesting.
Yeah,
May we take the adjournment at this stage?
Was asking about the very memoranda we are discussing under this section. Did you at that stage become aware of that inquiry?
It is true that I had that interview with the journalist. His inquiry was about the investigation, the internal investigation, not actually the memoranda, the two memoranda. It was about the investigation and the discipline, the investigation from IPIT. What was my understanding? What have we done with the IPIT report? That was the basis of the interview with the journalist.
No, I'm not asking about the media interview you had. I'm asking about inquiry from a journalist called Jeff Wicks on 2 February 2023,
Yes.
which was addressed to EMPD or Ekurhuleni, where the subject of the inquiry was this very memoranda that we are discussing now.
Unfortunately, I did not deal with that particular inquiry. And even the investigation, it was between the HR and a chief of police as well as HOD legal. I think he's going to speak more about it, the HOD legal, because he's the one who went through the process with the chief of police. And he's the one who went through that, and he further complained about the leakage of information. So I cannot comment on that.
And then the IPIT report, because you say in 61.1 of your statement that it was presented to you by officials of IPIT on or about September 2023.
Yes.
So it was presented to you.
The IPIT report, yes, was presented to me.
And am I correct that the IPIT report recommended that the city of Ekurhuleni must charge Julius Mkhwanazi?
Agreed.
And the subject of those charges was this very memoranda that we are discussing, that he had entered into this memoranda with CAD Security Services. That was the recommendation from IPIT.
Yes, sir.
And you did not act on that recommendation. In fact, you either disregarded it or you chose not to comply with it. I don't know which is which.
In terms of the IPIT report was presented. Number one, it was sent to Chief of Police to action because Julius, by then, he was a director. So I did something because the allegations contained in the IPIT report were very gross. I acted by referring the report to Corporate and Legal and Chief of Police, because Chief of Police is mandated in terms of the SEFS Act to actually discipline members. And Julius being one of his subordinates. He was supposed to do that. Even when you look at the IPID report, I don't know, I have it somewhere, where they write to him to implement or to discipline Julius. So from my point, I did something as an accounting officer by referring it, because it's a legal document, I referred the document to HOD Legal, who later informed me that the document is incomplete, and he has advised chief or whatever that they cannot take action on this document, rather let them do the internal investigation. But from my part, I did not participate in the discipline of junior officials. My part was for me to accept the report and refer it to the relevant officials who are responsible to discipline Brigadier Mkhwanazi in terms of his relationship, and also the memoranda that he entered into, the blue light story, the registration of vehicles. Those things were dealt with at the departmental level.
So as city manager, when you become aware that at departmental level, in the face of such serious allegations, they have not taken any action against Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, did you just wash your hands? Once you became aware that they have not done anything in the face of such serious allegations, what was your part then?
When I became aware, can you repeat the question?
You say you referred them to the department. So there was an IPID report. It recommended that Julius Mkhwanazi be charged. You referred it to the department for Mapieye to do something about it. You also referred it to legal to have a look at it.
Yes.
And we know nothing came of either the Mapieye process or the legal process. Now you as city manager, in the face of such serious allegations that impact the city of Ekurhuleni, its credibility, its processes, because you've just said to us, if they entered into those memoranda, that's irregular and you would have done something about it. Now I'm saying to you, when they did not do anything about it, what did you as city manager do? These are serious allegations, Dr. Mashazi. You can have a situation where a security company that has no relationship with the city of Ekurhuleni brings cars to Ekurhuleni and they are registered in the name of Ekurhuleni, and then they are given back or they are never handed over to the city of Ekurhuleni. And then that very security company uses blue lights. And they use those blue lights because there's supposedly a memoranda concluded between Ekurhuleni and that security company authorizing them to make use of blue lights. I mean, those are serious allegations. And to me, it's not good enough to say, I referred it to Mapieye, I referred it to head of legal. When they did not do anything, I also did not do anything. I find that very difficult to accept.
Okay, I take your point.
You have a comment?
No comment. We'll have a discussion with my attorneys around it.
Dr. Mashazi, maybe on this particular discussion, I know it's ahead in your statement somewhere, but maybe when you want to reconsider and discuss with your attorneys, you may want to have a look at your paragraph 91 in the statement, because in that paragraph 91 of your statement, in that paragraph you tell us who you referred the IPID report to. And now you're saying something different. And maybe take that into account and see what you want to do with it. When you consult with your lawyers, you tell us that you referred it to Kemi Behari, and now you mention Mapieye, and you haven't mentioned him in respect of this report.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Isaac Mapieye, in terms of the IPID report and in terms of his responsibility, he was supposed to discipline Julius. He was supposed to discipline him. Two, I referred the item to the report to Kemi because he's a lawyer. And I think it is our processes that any legal document must be sent to the head of legal to actually peruse and give the accounting officer an opinion
Yes.
on how to move forward. But the responsibility still lied with the chief of police to discipline Julius.
Yes. So did I mishear you then? Because I thought you said you referred the report to Mapieye and Behari. Did I mishear that
You
part?
misunderstood. Thank you, sorry, ma'am. Thank you so much. The report was directly sent to Mapeye from the IPT. They wrote to him as the chief of police to discipline Julius.
Yes.
And later, the report was presented to me, and I found the report to be problematic in the sense that there were serious allegations. That's why I sent the report to Kemi and for Kemi to actually advise me in terms of moving forward the report.
Okay. Like I said, it's a topic later on, so I would like to explore it further.
Okay,
so
sure.
I'll pause there for now. But maybe before you leave the topic you were discussing with Ms. Sillo, I just wanted to make a correction factually. At the bundle now, not the statement, the other bundle, at page 31, those emails, I think you and Ms. Sillo have said that the attachments to that email are the two memoranda. And maybe let's look at the memoranda and then I'll make the correction that I think needs to be made. And then you can say if I'm correct or not. So in that bundle, the two memoranda start at page 33. The first one is the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan and CAT VIP protection. That's at page 33, you see that. And then the next one is at page 30, just if you would just hold on for me.
37.
The next one is at page 32, I think, 32, yes. And it's Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department and Medicare 24, Emergency Medical Services, slash Anubi Protection Services. You see that? You see
Commissioner Baloi, for the record, may I correct? The second one is at page 37, not
Oh,
page
I
32.
do apologize. Indeed,
Yes.
page 37. I'm sorry. So you can see the one at page 37. It's different parties except for the Metropolitan. The other party is different. At 37,
Yes.
it's Medicare and Anubis Protection Services. So it's a different protection services company. You see that? Okay. The correction I thought needs to be made is if you now go back to page 31, keeping in mind what I've pointed out now, if you go back to 31, that email there, the attachment is described as pre-final EMS and EMPD MOU. You see that?
Yes.
In fact, the subject ahead of that is pre-final EMS and EMPD MOU draft 1, and then the next one says EMS and EMPD MOU. None of these headings refer to CAT Protection Services or Anubis Protection Services. You see the point I'm making?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it seems that we are talking about one memorandum that was attached and not two. And then the second point I just wanted to make sure we establish for the record is when you say the memoranda, you saw memoranda that were signed and you are referring to these two, the only signature that appears there is of Brigadier Mkhwanazi and no one else.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Perhaps
Official within the municipality. Someone comes with a report. You have perused and seen very serious allegations which make reference to fraud. So someone comes and just says there's no case here. And you do not engage on the specific allegations that you have read, you yourself have read.
I consider.
How can an executive, most senior executive, or top administrator act in that manner?
As I indicated that I deal with a lot of issues, but maybe this one in particular, I did not pay too much attention on it, but I must indicate that I am not protecting anyone, and I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus.
you
But,
say-
but the issue of not doing follow-up, I consider that I did not follow up as an accounting officer.
You said, I've forgotten the actual words now, you said maybe you did not take it too seriously. What did you say? But something
I
like
did
that.
not pay too much attention.
You did
to
not
it.
pay too much attention.
Yeah.
On something so serious, or did you not consider this to be serious?
I consider it serious.
Something that says a private entity's motor vehicles, the private entity being CAT VIP Protection Services, a private entity's vehicles were registered in the name of the municipality, of which you are the top administrator, and you do not pay too much attention to something like that. I just want to understand you, to understand your thinking both now and then.
Then to be honest, I did not peruse the document thoroughly. As I think in my statement, there's somewhere where I indicated that I did not peruse the document. The document immediately, the advocate was part of the meeting with IPIT. The document immediately was taken by him to go and review it.
When you say you did not peruse it thoroughly,
I perused the document after.
after what?
After the opinion and after the interview.
Advocate Behari's opinion?
Yeah, after the opinion.
Before you concluded that there was indeed no case?
After I concluded, after he gave me opinion.
No,
and
the
I
thorough
concluded.
perusal
The thorough
now
reading is post,
is post you receiving the opinion.
yes.
But before you come to a definitive view that there is no case here, not so.
Yes.
Now, that still takes us back to my
Maybe
question.
the post-
Once now you have perused thoroughly, as you say, and you have this opinion, and when you peruse thoroughly, you see that there are serious allegations, one of which is about fraud. How do you then come to this conclusion? And as I see it quite easily, that there is no case here. Why don't you say to Behari, but this says these cars were registered in the municipality's name. Is that correct factually? Why don't you say that to Behari, or why don't you ask that of Behari?
Ask him that, is it factual?
Is
that
it correct that indeed CAT VIP's motor vehicles, that is, motor vehicles belonging to a private entity, were indeed registered as the Metro's vehicles? Why don't you ask Advocate Behari that? Because you can't, this is a factual allegation, you know. That is why I would not be engaging you if we were talking questions of law, which indeed you would have had to rely on him. But now this is factual. It said cars belonging to CAT VIP were registered as though they belonged to the municipality. That's factual. And Advocate Behari comes back to you and says to you, there is no case here. We now know that you actually accepted that. You say so in the video clip. My question is, having perused the IP report thoroughly after receipt of Advocate Behari's report, why did you not engage him on the facts, not law, facts? Is it correct, Advocate Behari, that these cars were indeed registered as if they were the municipality's vehicles? Why don't you ask him that? Also, why don't you ask him, is it correct that an impression was created out there that there are memoranda between the municipality and, I'll focus just on CAT VIP here because I seem to read this to refer to CAT VIP. Did that happen? Is there a memorandum between the municipality and CAT VIP? We know there isn't. But did you engage Advocate Behari on that? What did he say? Those were very easy questions, both questions, the one regarding to the registration and the one regarding the memorandum.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson.
Why did you not raise those questions? How could you, in the face of these allegations, reach the conclusion that you did?
I reached the conclusion before I perused the document and before we received all this documentation that supports the IPIT report. That supports the IPIT report. I read that. I properly read this. Post my comment.
I'm getting confused now. If you say you reached your conclusion before, do you mean you reached your conclusion before you sought Advocate Behari's view? I want to understand the before.
No, thanks. I indicated in my interview that I received an opinion from Advocate Behari.
Yes.
That the report is vague. I indicated that in my interview, that the report is vague, therefore we're not going to take any action. Julius was cleared. Regarding Mkhwanazi was cleared. But
when did your perusal take place? I just want to get an idea of the timeline. Because you say you reached your conclusion before, but at some stage you perused. So I want the timeline, a clearer timeline.
Sorry, Chair, if you misunderstood. I said post.
Post
The advice.
Post the advice,
Yeah,
but
post
before
the
your
advice,
final,
that is-
but before your final view on the matter.
Yes. And the matter went further to say that my response goes further to say that after receiving the supporting document, I feel that the opinion given then is not assisting me.
Also, effectively you did not accept Advocate Behari's advice.
Initially, I did.
Because it was not eventually.
Initially, I did.
But eventually, yes.
Eventually post evidence and everything and reading the document properly. I don't think the opinion assisted.
You refer to evidence, which evidence? What evidence?
The attachment and the illegal memoranda that were signed by Mkhwanazi and the issue of registering vehicles and so forth.
All right.
After getting that evidence, I felt that the opinion did not help me much.
And then once you reached that conclusion, that is that the opinion was not assisting you, what did you then do as the accounting officer?
I had a discussion with Advocate Behari about this.
Again,
and I want him to come and state what really happened afterwards. Because I gave him the responsibility to peruse all the legal document and advise me. But looking at the evidence and the complexity of the matter, I feel, as I indicated, that he needs to review and talk to these issues.
Here at the commission?
Here.
No. I'm asking you about what you did at the time. Once you became aware that what Advocate Behari had given you by way of an opinion did not assist you, what did you do at the time?
At the time...
You are the accounting officer.
Yes, sir.
You've been given an opinion on an issue, or rather on a report that makes very serious allegations. You are the accounting officer. At some point you are satisfied with the opinion, but at a later point you no longer are. Now, once you are no longer satisfied with the opinion, what do you as the accounting officer, top administrator do at the time?
at the time.
Yes.
And at the time, when is the timeline? I can't recall the timeline, but I engaged him, and he said he has responses to that. He was working with IPIT. That's the response I got. Hence, I'm saying it is important that for you to get the full truth of what really transpired with this report. I know I do take responsibility as an accounting officer, but I relied on him. Hence, I'm requesting that he come and testify on the opinion that he initially gave. And as I said, that after looking at the evidence that was now provided in terms of the registration of vehicles and supporting documents for this IPIT report, I feel that that opinion did not assist me.
He gave you a written opinion. When you indicated to him that you were not happy with the opinion, did you write to him? Did you send an email?
No.
Or
No.
you
And-
communicated orally?
Yeah, it was already, even the initial response from him, it was oral, and he said they're working on the response to get more information from IPIT so that they're able to deal with the matter.
Probably this is the the last question from me, at least on this aspect. I want to understand, because you quickly jump to the need for Advocate Behari to come to this commission to testify and clarify his thought processes. But I'm interested to know, there's a point you are not happy with what he told you. You are the accounting officer. There are serious allegations. And this is when, what was the timeline? This is September 2023, and you retired at the end of July 2025. What did you do, you as the accounting officer, what did you do about these serious allegations that you say you actually saw for yourself when you did the thorough perusal?
There's internal process where Mkhwanazi is being investigated, re-investigated by the city, and there's also suspension from the IPIT report and from the commission, obviously. There's an internal process that is going on.
Thank you, Doctor. Let us adjourn and resume at 2:15. 2:15.
And integrity. Now, on the face of it, it looks to me an employee relations matter. That's what it looks like. Why would you refer this recommendation to Advocate Behari and not your head of HR, Ms. Kasheka?
For me, at face value, I looked at the report and it contained like memorandum of agreement. And for me, I took it that it needs a legal opinion to advise.
I thought you received the memorandum of agreement later, the evidence. You didn't receive it with the report.
It was part of the report.
So when you received the report in September 2023, before you gave it to Advocate Behari, it already had the memoranda, the two memoranda.
No, this one is a memorandum of agreement concluded between IPIT and South African Police Service as well as EMPD. I'm referring to this memorandum. And it was part of the report that was sent to Chief of Police to take action against Mkhwanazi.
So you say the reason you gave it to Advocate Behari, it is because it contained a memorandum between the iPad and the EMPD.
Correct.
And you were asking him to do what? Because you've got a report which recommends disciplinary action. That's the action that is required from the city and you have from the municipality, and you have a head of HR. What are you saying Advocate Behari should do with that recommendation? Because he's not Mr. Mkwanazi's superior.
I did not look at the recommendation only. The report itself, the content of the report, it must be interpreted legally and I must be advised legally. Obviously, the HOD HR will come and testify about labor relation issues that are related to the report.
Okay. Now, I'm not concerned about the HOD. We will speak to her when she does, because she will come and testify. So we will speak to her. I want to understand why it is you receive, there's a complaint, and you are told in page 1, in one short paragraph, what the allegations are. And in page 2, there's an analysis of what that investigation has revealed. And then you, in fact, the only reference to a memorandum is at page, it says, in the second page, it says, it has been ascertained that the suspect was acting and further discovered that the chief of police and deputies do not have powers to enter into a memorandum. The IPID memorandum with EMPD, may be missing it. I don't see any reference to it, so I don't understand when you say the reason you took this to Advocate Behari is because there was a memorandum between the EMPD, which had accompanied this report, between the EMPD and IPID. I don't see a reference to it in the report.
In terms of my evidence, when I started responding to this question, I indicated that anything that has memoranda or any document that would come from external service provider or external institution, we always take them to legal
See.
to assist me in understanding the documents. Remember, I'm running 26 departments and I'm not like legally trained or HR or engineering and so forth.
Yes.
For me to take a safe route, I need an advocate or the legal department to interpret some of these things before I take action.
Okay. Let me ask you, let me try lastly. You've told us you've now had the opportunity to read this report from beginning to end. And you say you now realize that whatever advice Mr. Behari gave you was not helpful to you. Do you accept, now that you've had the chance to reread it, do you accept that given the recommendation in this report, the proper directing of this report would have been to employee relations or to HR to deal with what it recommends?
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
One.
The call log that I checked, I don't have it.
You said you
He didn't allege WhatsApp.
Call. A WhatsApp call would appear here.
no. That's what I'm correcting you about. What I read.
Some calls, they disappear as and when you get calls and so forth. Hence, it's important that if the commission wants to satisfy itself, they can go to the relevant service provider to check if indeed I did receive calls from Mr. Lewis.
I can assure you the commission will be quite happy with the call log you checked.
Mm.
Where is that one?
The call log that I checked, I don't have it.
You said you checked and there was no such a
Yes,
call.
I don't have that info, that call from
So
Lewis.
which log did you check, Dr. Mashazi?
The call log.
Which call log? Because I was going to invite you to, that you share the very log with us. It doesn't have to be so formal as to be forwarded by a service provider. We are happy to accept yours. Instead of a WhatsApp, we get a normal call log. Where you checked and you satisfied yourself. As
The
you
call logs
stated.
in terms of my phone and the calls and everything, they end up in 2025, 05. That is the report from my phone.
I would have
Yes.
expected as such, but you are the one who told the commissioners that you checked the call log, and there is no call.
There's nothing,
For the
yes.
23rd of May 2023. You offered that, and I was
Exactly.
asking you to share that call log with us, that very one, where you satisfied yourself that there was no such a call on that
Here's
date.
my phone. There's no call from Mr. Nweza. And
In
I
2025.
want to reiterate that the commission is free to go to the service provider and get the information.
You then at paragraph 101 deal with Mr. Mapie's allegations regarding the withdrawal, as you say, or stoppage of the disciplinary or investigative process. This is untrue, and your approach to that is the same. You give a screenshot of the WhatsApp chat annexed as I am 18 between yourself and Chief Mapie. And I am 18 would be relevant only if Chief Mapie had claimed that it was a WhatsApp call, which he did not.
The answer is the same, that
Yeah.
the commission can satisfy itself and get the information from the service provider that can assist them in locating those calls.
Okay.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
at least you are satisfied that I am 17 and I am 18 doesn't help the commission insofar
Yeah,
to
maybe
determine
I
whether
mis-
or not there was such a conversation, unfortunately.
Yes. Maybe I misunderstood whether it was a WhatsApp call, because they normally phone me on WhatsApp, all of them.
Okay. At 110, at page 19 of your statement, you make a definitive statement.
In paragraph 71, it says donations and sponsorships may be accepted only if they do not create expectations of reciprocal benefits. That's a policy position. So, and I think, and the answer may be obvious, but let me put it to you anyway. If Medi24, I think that's the name of the company, or even VIP Cat Protection, if they made the donation to the alleged donation to the city, if they did that with the expectation that in return they will receive business or favorable consideration from the municipality in the business of the municipality, that would offend that policy position. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Advocate Silo, maybe it's fair
yes.
to explain to the witness what the donations relate to. My recollection is that there was the 300,000 for the cadets, and then there was the donation of 4 vehicles.
Indeed, I don't have a challenge with that. As I indicated, the question was posed to her because that is, in terms of policy, her power, just to confirm on record that there is firstly such a policy and what it governs, firstly, and secondly, that only she as city manager may approve donations. So the inference to be drawn from her confirmation would be that any other donation that does not conform to the terms of the policy is ipso facto null and void.
Dr. Mashazi, maybe the donations we are dealing with in this commission, only 2 have been mentioned. One was a donation of 300,000 for the training of the cadets, and then the other one was the donation of the 4 vehicles by CAT Protection Services or Security Services. You can confirm that you did not authorize or accept those donations.
I did not authorize, no accepted the donations.
And if anybody had accepted them on behalf of the city of Ekurhuleni, that would be contrary to the prescripts that apply.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. PD went around the province killing people at will. It's not a matter that will perturb you. And any failings by the Chief of Police to take action against those people is a matter to be left at the Chief of Police's doorstep. And you should never be engaged on such matters
No,
as a
I
city.
should be engaged.
At what level and when?
Remember, Chief of Police is like in terms of the questions from this morning, it's like I'm personal with him. There are a lot of labor issues in that department. Too much.
This is crime issues, Doctor. It's not labor issues.
No, let me Let me finish,
Okay.
ma'am. Can I be allowed to,
By all
to
means.
talk
By all means, I
and be
apologize.
free? There are a lot of labor issues, there are a lot of misconduct issues, and there are a lot of criminality issues in that department.
Yes.
And as I indicated that, we appoint HODs on the basis of their strength, especially around qualification and experience. And we believe at that point when we appointed Chief of Police that he will turn around the department and show compliance and deal with all the criminality that is that is happening in the department. We thought he would do that. But it cannot therefore be my sole responsibility to enforce that. Chief ought to have enforced that all members are actually vetted, and all members who actually are found to be wanting in terms of criminality are actually dealt with, including iPad.
Can I?
Yes, Commissioner.
Can I just maybe test this? Chief Mapiaye reports to you in the same way as Mr. Sheka reports to you. You receive this notice of intention to institute legal proceedings. There's an amount involved, but more importantly, there's allegations of criminal conduct from members of the EMPD. Surely it's not good enough for you. It cannot be good enough, and please say if you disagree and why. It cannot be good enough that you say, well, Chief Mapiaye is the one that was supposed to institute disciplinary proceedings. I took this demand and I sent it to legal, and that's the end of my role. He's your direct report. On a serious matter of criminal conduct, such as serious and huge financial exposure potentially to the city, I would expect my city manager to ask Kasheka, are you aware of this? I want a report. If Kasheka is the right person, and from what you're saying, it sounds she's not even the right person, but somehow she gets involved in Mkwanazi's matters. But I would expect at the very least that the city manager who receives this notice says to Mapiaye, I want a report. I want to know what you're doing about these criminal people that are in our system that have gone and robbed someone outside jurisdiction. And I'm concerned that your attitude is, well, he's the boss. If he didn't do it, don't look at me. Surely that he reports to you means something. Do you want to comment?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I comment by saying that in the morning we discussed his powers that he reports directly to council in terms of the SAPS Act and his responsibility to discipline members. And there's no way where it says the accounting officer must discipline members, including the systems of delegation. It is actually delegated to him. So I did not follow the discussion during his testimony as to whether such question was asked to him. What did he do with this? Despite claiming that he had a meeting with me to show me the pictures and whatever, that for me is still an allegation, and he must confirm it. The onus is on him to confirm that he did have a meeting and he indicated this. This report, it's an official report. It is with legal to defend the city. The issue of discipline still lies with the chief of police.
What does it mean? Maybe let's go back to basics. What does it mean when you say he exercises his powers inter alia, subject to your directives? Well, what does that mean?
Remember, we discussed that fact that the council has appointed him as the head of policing.
Yes.
And I argue that in as much as he's appointed, we need to read the SAPS Act in conjunction with the Systems Act as well as the systems of delegation. So if he fails in his duties, obviously, as an accounting officer, I need to deal with it.
Yes.
I need to deal with it.
Yes. And
But
you're saying,
in this-
sorry, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, okay. In this particular matter,
Yes.
He did not discuss this thing with me. He never had a meeting with me on the 15th of, I've forgotten,
August.
of
August.
August.
Yes.
I only had a meeting with Chief of Police on the 16th, where we discussed the dysfunctionality of the department. That such things, some of these things are some of the things that came up from the members, that we have this and this and this, we do not have tools of trade, we do not have this. That's why I had to call that meeting and address some of the things.
Okay, I'm really dealing with this limited issue. You receive a letter or a notice to institute legal proceedings. It claims about 45 million from the city. It alleges criminal conduct on the part of your employees. They are employees of the city. They're not BA's city. You're the CEO, you've told us. So they are your employees. They are accused of criminal conduct. Your testimony, as I understand it, is, well, I did my part. I forwarded this to legal, and that's the end of my involvement. What happens discipline-wise with these employees, it's not my issue, it's a BA matter. I struggle with that when you say he's accountable to you, and you don't seem to hold him accountable for this. And then you come here, you say, well, he didn't do anything about it. The question is, well, why did you not hold him accountable for this? And it seems your answer is, well, it had nothing to do with me. I am concerned about that.
Well, maybe it's an oversight from my side that I did not pursue him to actually, I mean, I have so many HODs, I can't be sitting on one person. And for me, I accept that it's an oversight for not making him to account.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.